Getting organized is everything. So now let's tackle the memorabilia. Last week on the Lazy Scrapbooker's next big project, I sorted photos, all 589 of them. I quickly realized with that volume that the tiny photo FileMate wouldn't work, so I switched to a power sort box. I even scrapbooked another 4 pages thanks to my Fast Page February event I was hosting. But in my haste, I forgot the memorabilia. I have got to do the power layout. Hi, I'm Donna Guest, the Lazy Scrapbooker and Creative Memories Advisor. Thanks for joining me on my next big project. We're going to plan, organize, and create a 2-volume scrapbook for my husband and son's 15-day road trip, their baseball blowout. After taking 2 days off, I was back at work all day preparing for 2 upcoming events. What a mess. We had fun on a tour of Truist Park, home of our Atlanta Braves. We've been here so many times to this ballpark, but it was fun to see it behind the scenes. And after our tour of Fenway Park in Boston, we wanted to take the tour here. It was a great day, but there would still be time at the end of the day to work on the project. I am finally ready to do the memorabilia. That means gathering it all, getting Jeff to help me sort it, then get it organized, and then I can do my power layout. So, ready to spray it all on the pool table, but of course, I find this. I got a mess going on. So this is actually me preparing for a class that I'm teaching at my crop on Sunday. So let me just clean this up first. Okay, so we're ready. I have everything I need for the memorabilia. First, I have what you saw me do in episode 3, which was a power sort box. And we've got everything in here, all the photos. Next, I've got the outline, which I'll most likely need. I've got a photo labeling pencil and Post-it notes. These are super helpful when sorting anything because you're going to need these. But in the photo labeling pencil from Creative Memories, it does not smudge and it does not indent on anything. Then we've got this huge stack of memorabilia from the trip. And the most important thing I've got is Jeff to help me sort all this out. So I don't have these yet. These are the folders that I used for his retirement albums. And I had, I think, 25 or 26 of them, one for every calendar year he was there. And so I may have to do that here, but that collecting of memorabilia, that was a lot bigger project. We've got everything we need right here. For the retirement albums, we would continue to find things and have to add those to the folder. So they made a lot of sense then. I'll add them if I need them. But first of all, we're just going to kind of sort things. So the main thing we want to do is, can we sort by date, do you think? Like day 1, day 2, day 3?
With a list, maybe not by memory.
Okay, not by memory, but with a list. Okay, so that's what we can do. So I'll put some sticky notes here so that you can sort. And would it help if I wrote where you went that day?
Yes.
Okay, so here's day 1. That's Salem.
Okay.
Then we have day 2. That is that USAHEC Museum, and then Lancaster. Do you need just the city or do you need the mascot?
No, city's fine. City works great.
All right, so there's 1 and 2. So I'm going to continue to go around and put a sticky note on the pool table or whatever big table you have. A dining room table would be great as well. And then we can sort that out. So we'll work on that. This outline has come in very handy yet again. So here's what I've done. So I've just simply put Post-it notes, one for each day. Now, at first, when I put down day 1 for Salem, he said, you're not going to need that. You've already scrapbooked day 1. But then, of course, he did find some memorabilia that I didn't have in there. It's a roster for that team. But I've got 1 Post-it per day, except for the Boston leg, which was 3 days. All that can go together. And so we continue on around. And he is sorting right now. This is just the pile that we have it done right here. And so he's just continuing to go around and sort things, like these are obviously from the Orioles game in Baltimore and so forth. We have all 15 days represented here. I don't know what I'm going to do about this day 1. Hartford, Connecticut has to have the absolutely best name of the team. They are the Hartford Yard Goats. And I use that theme throughout everything. I love that their program's called Pachoo. Like Pachoo. So you checked in this day.
Yeah,
You check out this day. So you just want it right here.
yeah. This is us leaving, going to Yingling. So that
Oh,
was
Yingling, I've got right here.
Scranton going to Yingling. That was my notes from the night before.
Oh, this is the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to put it with Yingling or the night before?
Yingling's fine, I guess. I think that's it.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything else.
So he just said, that's all I've got right now. And I, of course, questioned what does right now mean, but I think that's just an expression. I think. And done. That really didn't take that long. So basically, all we had to do was just set aside some time and do this. So now everything is organized, and so everything is in order. So now I can take this and put it with the photos and actually start to do the power layout, all 2 albums of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this power sort box. I should probably take it off this edge. That is just an accident waiting for it to happen. So what I'm going to do is the smaller pieces, I'm going to file in here. Like this is day 2, the game. So we can come to right here. Day 2, I've got it labeled here. So I'm going to put these tickets right in here. Very easy. And then this is where they stayed. So this is after the game. I'm going to put it at the end. Nicholas, what's up, buddy? What? Are you wanting to be involved? Now these items obviously aren't going to go in the power sort, so I'm just going to put the sticky note on top of them. Same thing here for day 1, and if I have to use these, I will. Yeah, and then we're going to come over to day 3. So I'll just continue this process of putting in the smaller things, and honestly, it's not that much. A lot of this stuff's really big, but I'll put the smaller things in where I can. Where I come over here, we're on day 3, and I'll go to day 3, the game, and put these in there. Okay, and done. I was able to go through here and use my labels like day 14 game, and that's where I would put the tickets and anything that goes in that date that was small enough. So what am I left with? I'm left with all of these larger things that I have labeled. So I'm probably going to go get Power Simple sleeves and label those like I did before and put all these things in there. But you know what a great idea would be? I just could use the file mate that I gave Jeff. This is a 12 by 12 file mate, and it's going to be absolutely perfect for what we need here. So I'll open this up, and it has all these pockets. It's basically 13 pockets, which is pretty much how many piles I've got here. So I'm just going to label those here. I'll just slide in a little piece of paper here. It comes with some cards, actually. There's somewhere. Don't touch my sweater. And then I'll get all this sorted. So I know me. I know what I'm capable of forgetting. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a little piece of paper, just a plain piece of paper with my photo labeling pencil, and put it in the beginning of these dates and say, hey, you've got memorabilia that was too large to fit in here, so don't forget about it. Not that there's going to be a huge time frame that it's going to take me to this power layout, I don't think, but I'm not taking any chances on forgetting any of this memorabilia. And some of the stuff that he got me is pretty cool. Just travel information like the state of Pennsylvania. So we love to take books like that, and if there's a cool map in there or something, you know, like an ad for where they went, that's kind of cool to put in there. Just different materials to have in there. I think it adds a lot to the album. At first I thought I would take this all to my table where I scrapbook so I'd have better lighting, but I'm not moving this anywhere. The only place this is going to go is directly into this file mate, because I know it will happen otherwise. So I've made my little labels here, and I'm just going to stick those into the little tabs, and I'll do this for all the days. Okay, all done. I skipped days 10 and 15 because I don't have any large memorabilia for those days, but they're ready. I could not find the little pre-cut pieces, the little papers that go in there, so I just made my own out of cardstock, and I made them extra long so I could just yank them out easily later, because this is a very temporary solution for this. because my next step after organizing this is to start on the power layout. So hopefully nothing has to stay in here too long, but even if it did, it'd be fine because these are of course photo safe. So here I am, here is day number 1, and I'm going to put it aside. Now the question is, do you put yours in front of the label or behind the label? That's pretty much one of those life choices, like how many spaces to put at the end of a sentence when you're typing it. Or do you stay or do you hit on a 16 in blackjack? I like to file in front. It's a life choice. And done. Check it out. Here's all the large memorabilia, filed and ready to go. So here's what I've got. I've got this file mate full of large memorabilia. I've got the power sort box full of all the photos and the smaller memorabilia. And I use this power simple pocket to put in Jeff's itinerary, mileage, and of course, the ever important outline. So this is it, all done. This is their scrapbook right here. Now I'm ready for the power layout. And if they come up in here after that with more memorabilia or more pictures, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
The next morning we had snow flurries. We don't get a lot of snow here, so it's very exciting.
It's Friday and my crop is on Sunday where I'll be teaching a power layout class. Also, my last 2 layouts for my Fast Page February are due tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and right now it is about 3 p.m. on Friday. So here's the order that things have to go in right now so that I can accomplish all of this. I need to start on the power layout. So I'm here at the pool table. I need to squeeze in the memorabilia somehow that I left out in my haste of doing my Fast Page February challenges. So that's first. And then I need to lay out a few pages that I can use for my Fast Page February challenges. I already have the layouts in my head, so I just need the photos and hopefully I'll find something that works. If not, I'll just use Nicholas. And then I need to gather enough materials to continue the power layout so that I can teach the class that I'm teaching on Sunday at my crop. That's the order this has to go in, although I do need to get those videos for the Fast Page February layouts done tonight. So let me show you what I have right now. Here are the first 2 pages, page 3 on the back of that, page 4, 5, and 6. All of that is day 1 of their trip. Then I started scrapbooking day 2. And here's where I really forgot the memorabilia. So I have these 4 pages and I expected to have 1 more from this group of photos. Now with me on the table, I've got the big file mate for the big memorabilia. I've got the power sort box with all the photos and the small memorabilia. I've got my power layout guides, these wonderful photo safe dividers. And so that I double my capacity, if you've ever watched my power layout video or seen me do this, I alternate the dividers with an actual album page because you're going to need an album page anyway, so it saves you time and doubles the amount of pages that you can prepare for. Then I've got all the little extras, including the outline, and of course the power layout box, which I'll just set to the side here because I don't need it yet. So in this situation I've created for myself, the first question I have to ask is, what did I leave out? So let's see. So from day 1, I love how organized we are now. I have the first game's roster. That's pretty cool. That's a neat little thing. It's an 8.5 by 11. You know, honestly, I could put it in here in a 8.5 by 11 pocket page if I wanted to dedicate a whole 2 pages to that, because I say that because if you put in a pocket page, that's another set of staples that are taking up room in your album. We know the album can hold a maximum of 96 pages, which is 48 sheets. So 1 sheet would be this. So now I'm down to 47 sheets. But doing the math that I've done on this outline, I estimated, now you know I'm going to be wrong. You know that's wrong. I know it's wrong. But I estimated 148 pages. So that is 74 sheets. So that's 2 comfortable albums worth. So I've got a lot of wiggle room on this one. Not like I did on Jeff's. I had 0 wiggle room. We had to really pare that down. But this one, I can add a few things here and there and I'll be safe. So it's important to do this so that you know your numbers, you kind of have a plan, and that you don't end up going, uh-oh, this has to be 3 albums, or uh-oh, 4 albums, and something like that. So we've got a plan. I think it's gonna work. All right, so we've got this missing, and that's from the game, so it doesn't need to be over here with their first stop. It needs to be over here with game 1. Then we filed all these. There's little hotel keys to show where they stay and everything. I don't know that I'm going to scrapbook that. That's not interesting at all, but I'm going to put it here with that. So that was day 1. Let's look at day 2 for the large memorabilia. All right, so we have, oh, look at this. Wow. This is from the museum that I'm in the middle of right now, and it's a beautiful map that opens up. It's kind of neat, I know we love stuff like this. And Jeff did say, everything I've got is stuff we really went to, because he is infamous for, if you're at a welcome center for the state, or if you're at a hotel and there's those walls of brochures, he is going to grab not one, but about 10 or 15. And he has trained his little minion to do the same thing. So they both do it and walk away with all this paper, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So but this is legit. They actually went here. So I like this. All right, we'll put this over here with all this stuff going on. And then this is not absolutely necessary, but he just had a Pennsylvania travel guide, which he got through the mail, I believe. And this actually helps him plan trips. So he gives these to me after he's done with them to say, hey, if there's anything in there that you want to use in the album, cut it up, it's yours. So that's kind of cool. Now let's go to the power sort box and see what we have here. So day 1's done. I got the small memorabilia for day 1. That was the little tickets. I got those. So for day 2, let's see what we've got. I'm just going to pull everything out here. So organized. This is not how I am in life, only in scrapbooking. Okay, here's his journaling that I typed in 3 different, while I was printing out a whole sheet, I just printed it out in 3 different widths to see where it fits. That's going to go on that first page that I said for day 2. Okay, this is all going to come into place. I know I've said, all right, I'm not going to do the start of day 2 yet, which is a picture of them outside their hotel. Hey, I can put that with this right here and having breakfast. And then we have the final pictures for that museum they went to. Okay, so these are over here. And then they're going to the day 2 game, the game. So we're not even there yet. So that's all together. That's good. So this bit of journaling will go with this first thing in the morning pictures. But guess what? And I think I'm excited. I got a problem, but I think I already have a solution. We went to the game. All right. And I guess I may put this, does it deserve a whole page like that, a half of a page, or does it deserve a pocket page? It does, because I know they enjoy looking at things like this, and I'm going to probably do that as a pocket page. So maybe I'll do that right here in between the game. That kind of ruins my little beautiful layout, but it's okay. We'll be all right. Or maybe I do here we go. I'm going to put it, so I don't want to put it in between these pages, because that's a nice little layout. It was part of my Fast Page February, but game 1 begins on the right side. So why don't we just do the pocket page right here, and that gives a nice divider between these 2 pages, which are completely different, other than the papers I used are kind of similar. So that's what's going to happen there. Easy, easy. Our next page, this is why power layout is so important. Our next page is on the left. There's a left-hand side. So we're going to need something over here as well. And remember, I was going to leave 1 page for day 2. And here's some pictures, and here's how many miles we drove, and here's where we stayed, all that good information. But guess what I've got next? I did a 2-page spread. So I talked a big game about leaving that page, and then I left 2 pages or 0 pages. So here's what we're going to do. I'm not redoing this. Never redo stuff. It's got to be a big, big problem for me to redo something. So the left-hand side is going to be my, hey, here's day 2. Here's our pictures of us at the hotel, having breakfast. Here's where we stayed. Here's the first journaling. This is about how our destination, a tour of the Utz potato chip factory, was closed, but he had a backup plan. And that's when they went to that really cool museum that he said was one of the best things they saw. So I'm going to put that there on that left page. And then we'll do a pocket page, a 12 by 12 pocket page. I know this would fit into an 8.5 by 11. I think, actually, oh, it would. I could do that, but to solve this dilemma that I have created for myself, I'm going to put this into a 12 by 12 pocket page on the front side so it can be lifted out and looked at if they like. All right. And then, so that's on the right side. So on the back of that pocket page will be this right here. And you know what? Since the pocket page, you see front and back, this will be the back side of it. This will be the front side of it. So I've already got a very nice background built into it. That just worked out. That's good. I have solved my dilemma of going too fast, getting ahead of myself, and leaving out the memorabilia. We've got all that solved. So I'm going to go, before I forget what I just said, I'm going to go and get those 2 pocket pages and take care of that here. So here's how our single pocket pages come with Creative Memories. They are now sold in packs of 16. I'm going to put this one backwards with the staples on the left like this. I would say I would rub these off with my little photo cloth, but these are all matte finish. They don't have any fingerprints. And then we're going to slip this cool piece of memorabilia right inside that. Look, I just did another page. Now I'm going to take my sticky note that says day 2, and I'm going to put it on this left page right here. That's going to be part of my power layout. All of these pages I have completely done. And now we've got this piece of memorabilia for day 1. And we're just going to take this 8.5 by 11. Now these are not top loading, these are side loading, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to take out the cardstock, and this of course is just great photo safe cardstock you can use. And we're going to put this in. Let me figure out what's front and what's back. I think this is the way it goes. Okay, and if you watched my first series, you saw me use some of these with letters and things like that. Here's where I'd already scrapbooked something, and this says day 1 right here. And so I'm not really following my thing that I kind of came up with after I had done this, of having a little summary of the whole day. So I don't know that I want to do that on the front page, or maybe I do. I've really not left myself any room to kind of summarize day 1 there. It's not a lot of room right there. Unless I use the front page for day 1, because the front cover is a custom album cover that's already designed with the title and an amazing photo. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, so if you saw my first series, you saw these. I surprised Jeff with this first one, and he loved it, of course. And then I, of course, waited to do the second one, and I let him pick out the photo for that one. But they have photos on the back too. That's my favorite. If I decide to do that, I will have to order it in May, because currently Creative Memories only produces custom covers 2 times a year. That is new, May and November. That kind of tells me what I would need to do. I would need to order that pretty soon in May to get it back, if their birthday is indeed a deadline. We'll see. It's always weird stacking these in order when you've already done one side of it, so figuring this out. This is the right side here. Left side, I'm just adding in album pages because I'm going to need them. Okay, we've caught up. Now we're ready to continue the power layout, hopefully so that I can get some pages to do tonight. So that was a busy Friday. I had to do 4 things. Squeeze in the memorabilia I left out, do a few more pages of the power layout so that I could create 2 layouts for my Fast Page February. Film me doing those layouts and then edit those videos, and then gather enough materials, photos and memorabilia and paper to be ready to demonstrate 6 to 8 pages of the power layout for when I taught my power layout class on Sunday. And they had to happen in that order. So as you can see, I had 1 down and 3 to go. So we'll just have to wait to see how that big to-do list for that one evening turned out in next week's episode. As I was squeezing in that memorabilia to the pages that I've already done, it occurred to me that it was going to be really easy for me to forget that idea I had about starting each new day
with the list. And this is a great page to do for those extra photos where they take a picture of themselves in front of the hotel or whatever, maybe having breakfast, that don't really warrant a full page. But I can use them with this brand new day page, I'll call it that, and all of this. The miles driven, the city they stayed in, the hotel where they stayed, sights they saw, and then of course the game they saw that day, and the final score. This is what I showed in episode 2, I believe, and I keep forgetting it. And I keep having to go back to YouTube and watch episode 2 to remember my list. That's not helping me at all. So here we go. I've got this list. Probably going to put it on the wall in front of me, or at least in the power layout box. We'll have to wait till next week to see how it all turned out on that Friday. But as you can see, we are completely organized. Everything is so organized. Everything is in the right place. So at this point, I think it's going to be smooth sailing. Thanks so much for joining me on another big project. I'll see you next week.